Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about NFL Week 2 for the 2024 season. Um, Preview and predictions along with best bets for this weekend for the NFL. Um, so let me go over this entire slate for the 1 o'clock hour going into the 4 and all the way up to Monday Night Football, because I'm not doing Thursday Night Football. I'm a little late for that, so I can't give you guys a prediction. I mean, I can. I think it's a toss-up. I don't know who the hell I would pick between the Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, so I wouldn't say do this game at all unless you're doing player props. Uh, Jacksonville, Cleveland will be a 1 o'clock game starting off Sunday. I'll take Jacksonville over the Cleveland Browns, but I wouldn't bet on it. The money line for Jacksonville is a minus 155, and Cleveland is a plus 130. So, and they're playing in Jacksonville. So Jacksonville does have somewhat of an advantage. So they may actually end up having a good game against the Cleveland Browns, I think. So I would go with Jacksonville Jaguars in that game. The Indianapolis Colts against Green Bay in Green Bay. I'm going to have to say I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts on this one. Despite playing on the road, I think Indianapolis could win this game. They came very close of beating the Texans in a 29-27 defeat. They played very well, I'd have to say, compared to a Texans team that has, I think, gotten better since last year. I think the Colts have gotten better as well. I think their defense is probably the only thing to be concerned with. But other than that, Anthony Richardson, I think against Texans last week was a good performance. So I don't see why you can't have the same kind of performance here against Green Bay, outside of maybe outside factors such as conditions on the field, things of that sort. So I'd have to say that I go with the Colts on this one. They are a minus 145 on Hard Rock Bet. Green Bay is plus 120, and they don't have Jordan Love. I would say Green Bay if they were the plus money in this game, but Jordan Love's out with the injury, so he's not playing. Colts got a very good chance at winning this game, more than likely. We got the Jaguars going on the road against Carolina. Jaguars. Chargers are on the road against the Panthers. Chargers are on the road against the Panthers. They're a minus 250, the Chargers, and Carolina's a plus 200. Obviously, you're going to go with the Chargers, minus 250. They're, I would say, a decent bet. I would say I would bet on them, but at the same time, I'm not really all that impressed with that team. I think the Chargers do have some issues here, and I don't think that this is a game worth your time because it could go the other way. I mean, God forbid, Bryce Young does get somehow magically good at this. I don't know, but I wouldn't waste my money on two shit teams, honestly. Raiders going up against the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Baltimore. Baltimore is a minus 500. Las Vegas Raiders are a plus 375. Obviously, you got to go with Baltimore. Baltimore had, they played good. I mean, great against Kansas City. I believe these two teams, Kansas City and Baltimore, will face each other in the AFC Conference Championship game again. Whether Baltimore beats them again in the championship game or not is to be seen. But I'm taking Baltimore on this one. This is definitely a safe bet. I mean, given the fact that they are a minus 500, you may want to parlay it with a player prop. So you go with Baltimore in the for the win on money line, and then you can parlay it if you want to. Again, I'm not a huge fan on parlays. I really hate parlays personally. I've been fucked over so many times on parlays, it just sickens me to no end. But if you were to parlay Mark Henry, because the Raiders showed that they have a really terrible defense on the run, especially against J.K. Dobbins, who's a former Baltimore Raven, on the Chargers against the Raiders, and you pick Derrick Henry for just going 40 yards, which is an easy thing for him to do. He did that against a good defense last weekend against Kansas City. So you parlay that with as a minus 800 with the minus 500 Ravens to win the game, you're at a minus 275, which is a pretty good deal. But again, if something happens to Derrick Henry, you got to take this into account. If he gets injured, you're screwed. You automatically lose whether Ravens win or not if he doesn't hit the 40 yards before an injury. So if he gets injured before the 40 yards, he reaches 40 yards rushing, you're in up Shit's Creek without a paddle, basically. Matt 87 Eagle says, you're not watching the Thursday night football game? No, I'm not. You might find that surprising because of the fact that the Dolphins are playing, but yeah, I don't care. And they're also on Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime anyway. All right, Dallas against New Orleans. New Orleans are going on the road in Dallas. I would say, yes, Dallas is an easy pick for me, even though I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. You know, strategy-wise, logically, you would go with the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Dallas is going to win this game. I think they have the better defense than Saints. Not saying that Saints won't give Dak Prescott trouble and possibly make him make mistakes, but I do believe that their defense will hold up Derek Carr very well, forcing the offense not being able to do much of anything. And this will cause the Dallas Cowboys to maybe have control of the ball later on in the game by the third or fourth quarter. They could tire out that defense and keep I think the possession of the ball is going to be key for Dallas to win this game, because Saints defense against Carolina was unbelievable. If they can produce that same exact defensive that they did last week against Carolina, no matter what kind of offense they're going up against, they're a dangerous team, whether Derek Carr is effective or not. It's just, the thing is, if Dallas holds on to the ball for a long period of time, it will tire out that defense and they will eventually gain control of the game. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. So I would go with Dallas on this one. I wouldn't bet on it. It is a minus 300. So yeah, I wouldn't go ahead and throw my money down because the Saints could have a good game. The Dallas Cowboys defense may not show up. If Dallas's defense doesn't show up, I think Dallas is in trouble in this game. So I would not bet on this game at all based on the odds and everything. If the odds were a lot closer, like let's say they were in the minus 225 or under a minus 200, I'd say, yeah, bet on the game. But in this situation, I wouldn't. It's not really worth the trouble or the hassle to go through. So, yeah, I would stay away from this one. Giants in Washington. I'm going to take Washington. Washington showed they had very good. Even though they lost 37-20 to the Buccaneers, they may have a shitty defense, but that offense, I think, has improved. I think Daniels continues to get better as he progresses in his career. I think he's going to get really good. I think they're going to possibly be in contention for the wild card spot, possibly, because outside of the Eagles, I don't think the Cowboys are going to be that big of a deal. They might be the second best team, but I think the Eagles are going to take the NFC East. Hurts me to say that, but hey, it is what it is. I'm going to call it as I see it, not be biased about it. But yeah, I think that the Eagles are the best team, but I think Washington could possibly end up being a 7th seed in the playoffs. Just my opinion. Or at least have a decent enough record this year compared to last year. I think they might go 6-11, maybe. I think that might be probably the best prediction there. I mean, that's not playoff contention, but that's probably, I think it is better than what it was last year. And I think Daniels is going to play a good part in that offense and make that team a good enough team to be somewhat, have a pleasant season compared to what they did last year, at least. So I'm taking Washington in this one. They're a minus 120 against the Giants at plus 100. I wouldn't even play this game because it really could go either or, but I'm taking Washington in this one. The Jets playing Tennessee, they're a minus 200. I'd say the Jets will win if Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall can get big in their game. I think if Aaron Rodgers can throw the ball well, he didn't do a bad job against the 49ers, despite the fact that he was blitzed so much. And that defense was just so good this past Monday. I mean, he would have had a better game had he went up against a shittier defense. And I think the Titans have a shittier defense than the 49ers. I don't think that you can even compare the Titans defense with the 49ers defense. So I'm going to take the Jets in this one. I think that Breece Hall will be able to go off in this game and have a good enough productive game, as well as Aaron Rodgers being able to have enough time in the pocket without having to worry about so many defensive players coming after him past the line of scrimmage. So I think the Jets have a good shot at winning this, despite them being on the road here for the second week in a row, actually. But yeah, I'm going to take the Jets minus 200. I mean, you could bet on this game, but I'm going to say no. I'd say stay away from this. This ain't worth throwing money down because, again, I don't know if the Jets could pull this off. Maybe they have an injury here, something like that, but any game can have that. So I want us to stick with what's the strong teams to bet on here, and I don't think the Jets are it. I mean, you can throw money on the Jets. Again, like I said, I see the Jets winning this game without any problem. Seattle against New England. This is a game I wouldn't fucking bet on at all. Seattle's not that impressive. Kenneth Walker's dealing with a minor injury that might keep him out of the game. He's questionable currently right now with his abdomen. And I wouldn't even bet on this game. This isn't even worth my time. I'm going to actually take an underdog here. I'm going to say the Patriots win this game, surprisingly. I think they're actually going to pull this off. San Francisco 49ers on the road to Minnesota. I think San Francisco will win this game. I am actually betting on this game. Minus 250. The only thing I'm concerned with, there's a minor questionable injury on an offensive lineman for the 49ers. But defensively, I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to keep up with the San Francisco 49ers offense. And I think that defense on the 49ers are going to give Sam Darnold all kinds of problems all day and all night. So I'm going to take San Francisco here. I'm betting on it. It's a minus 250. Very good odds on this one for just money lining it. Tampa Bay versus the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are a minus 350. Bucks are a plus 275. I'm going to lean towards, I'd say I'm going to pick the Lions to win based on their ability to win with their talent-wise on defense. But last year, the Bucks competed with the Lions in that divisional game. And they were competing. They didn't get their asses kicked. They didn't do anything like that. It wasn't anything major. They just so happened to lose the game by a few points, which is fine. With that kind of situation, with those kind of odds on an underdog, I'm going to say I'm picking the Lions to win. But if I was a betting man, I would throw money on the Bucks, but be conservative about it because they could have a shot at winning this. I don't think those odds are right. I think the odds are a lot closer than what they're calling it because let's be real. The Lions almost lost that game last week to the Rams. They went ahead, got into the overtime game and ran it up the field, run down the field, and scored a touchdown without even throwing one pass. Or if they did throw a pass, maybe it was one pass, and that's it. So great, wonderful. They're not going to be able to run against the Bucks. They're going to have to throw. Jared Goff kind of showed his old signs of his old self. It's a little concerning. Bucks pass coverage. I mean, they were going against Daniels, who's a rookie, who's having his first game. I don't know. I think that might be a little bit of a concern there, that you can't really compare Jared Goff to a rookie quarterback. Jared Goff might have a better game against this defense, unless we're going to know one way or the other if this pass defense on the Bucks has improved, because Jared Goff is going to be that test to see if the Bucks defense is good enough and has improved compared to last year, because Bucks pass defense was fucking terrible. Their run defense was excellent. So I'm going to say bet on the Bucks. I'm not going to bet on the Bucks though. I prefer sticking with the underdogs. That's because I'm an amateur at this. I'm not really a expertise, but if I was to bet on an underdog, Bucks would definitely be one of them. I'll be right back. Just give me one moment. I have to go do something real quick. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I greatly appreciate you guys standing by. Outside of Matt 87 Eagle, who's the only one watching. Yeah. So, anyway, that was interesting. Anyway, let's get to it. So, as I was saying, I'd say take the Bucks if you're gonna bet on this game. I think the Bucks could give you a shot at winning this. Some really good money, plus 275. I would definitely go with the Bucks. I think you got a shot at winning something. Next game after that, I would say, hold on, let me scroll down here. Rams and Cardinals. Rams are on the road against the Cardinals. Cardinals are a minus 120, and the Rams are plus 100. I'd say take the Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams. I think they are a better team. I think they got a better running game. I think Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Kyle Murray. I think Kyle Murray has the only thing that Kyle Murray has over Matthew Stafford is his mobile ability. He's able to scramble on the run and move around in the pocket. That's about the only thing he has over Matthew Stafford, but I think that Matthew Stafford has a better arm than Kyle Murray and is more accurate. The only thing you got to worry about with Matthew Stafford is he going to throw in an interception? That's my only concern on that one. Next game after that, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're going ahead and doing this in Kansas City. I'm going to take Kansas City. I'm betting on this game in the 4:00 hour. Kansas City is the better team, better defense, better offense overall. I think they're going to mop the fucking floor with Cincinnati. And I would even go on the spread, which is a minus 5.5. So they have to at least win by 6 points or more. I think Kansas City will be able to pull that off with flying fucking colors. How about that? Denver. I'm just money lining it though, so I'm not gonna go anywhere but money line on this shit. I don't want to give you guys bad bets. Kansas City's who I'm betting on. 4:00, 1:00 hours. The 49ers. That's what I'm going with. Denver and Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with Denver on this one. They're playing at home, Denver. The high altitude might cause a problem. Pittsburgh's defense might be the only demeaning factor as to why the Pittsburgh Steelers could win this game. But otherwise, if they can go ahead, move against this Pittsburgh defense, pass the ball, and run the ball, I think Denver could actually beat Pittsburgh in this game, especially being in high altitude. So I'm going to take Denver Broncos to win, but I wouldn't bet on it. Moving on to the 8:00 hour in the Sunday night football slates. Houston in Houston facing Chicago Bears. Minus 325, Chicago plus 250. I'm going to take the Houston Texans on this one without a shadow of doubt. Texans are going to win this game. Caleb Williams was shit last week against the Titans. He didn't even reach 100 yards passing in this game. Their defense is what helped them win. And facing against a Tennessee Titans offense with Will Levis as their fucking quarterback, I don't think is all that impressive at all. I don't think the Titans quarterback is exactly that great anyway. So I'm taking the Houston Texans to win this by a fucking country mile. I definitely think they're going to break the 7-point spread. I would go with the spread too. If you want to play a little, if you want to get a little frisky, lower your odds down from 325 to a minus 110. Go for it, but I would just money line it just to play it safe. God forbid Chicago does show up defensively, but just can't offensively do anything. And we get like maybe a fucking 3-0 game, God forbid. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Atlanta Falcons. They're a minus 325, the Eagles, playing at home against the Falcons, and the Falcons are a plus 260. Obviously, you're going to take the Eagles. They're a better team than the Falcons. But my main concern is that that defense on the Philadelphia Eagles with the pass game really concerns me. It really does. And that's something I worry about. I don't know if this is exactly a good game. This might be a trap game, even though the odds don't say so. Say that the Eagles should be able to win this with no problem based on the odds of minus 325. But I mean, they're playing in Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins has problems in Philly. He did that last year with the Minnesota Vikings, and they had a hard time against them. So he could have the same situation happen again. I would say you could bet on it. I'm not betting on this. I'm going with the Texans are better minus 325 than the Eagles because of the defensive side of things. I was not impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles defense against Green Bay last week. I think their defense was trash. But I think with the Falcons defense, the only one that you really have to worry about is Kirk Cousins' arm being able to pass the ball decent enough against their terrible pass defense, which showed up last week. And then the other thing is Robinson, their running back. I think he's a good running back, despite the fact the Steelers held him to like 50 yards, I think. So rushing. So I would say could be a trap game, I think. And I'm going to say stay away from it. But if you want to bet on it, bet on the Eagles. I wouldn't bet on the Falcons in this situation based on the fact that they're playing in Philadelphia. So that's those are my picks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.